checkpoint Charlie, he didn't crack a smile.
Race, like CND, was an issue that galvanised thousands to march through Britain's streets. The difference was that, unlike CND, race provoked violence as the far right and far left clashed. The secret state decided that both sides had to be targeted. Special Branch recruited a spy to infiltrate the National Front.
I placed him within that organisation. He rose to a certain level within the organisation that I wanted him to rise to very quickly, so it was easy for him to access information.
The spy had been responsible for some notable intelligence coups against the far right over the years. His role was to keep his head down and his ears open to warn of forthcoming street aggro and any violent threats.
Someone talked to me about it. I would have to say, I don't want to listen to this. And human psychology being what's done, telling me what it was. Or you have the ability to merge so much into the background that socially people feel able to freely talk with you sitting there because you're accepted like part of the furniture.
One of the key targets for the far right in the Midlands at the time was a leading light of the Labour Party, known for her plain speaking. How was Claire Short regarded?
Loathed. What would be described on the extreme right as a race mixer. She was constantly attacking the role of the National Front. She advocated multiracialism constantly on TV. Generally a bad lot she'd have been regarded as.
I get a lot of hate mail. I get racist letters from all around the country saying, oh, you're in favour of immigrants and we're the too many already. I think they've got to be challenged.
Some members of the National Front planned to rid their area of this turbulent socialist using methods more familiar in Northern Ireland. Were there plans to get her?
There was talk about firebombing her home because she lived in the constituency. And there was also plans for her to speak at the Trades Council. And they were planning to plant an incendiary device under the stage where she was speaking from.
Were they planning to kill her?
I think that would have been an added bonus for them.
Steve heard they planned to start by torching the Communist Party bookshop in Birmingham.
It was decided to nip it in the bud as soon as possible. And they were in fact all arrested at the first event, which was the attempted incineration of the Communist Party bookshop.
Where were they arrested?
Behind the premises, with the materials, yeah. They were tried and convicted and sent to prison.
How did they come to be caught? How did the police know?
Well, I think that's fairly obvious, isn't it? Because they had the information provided to them by me.
Steve then felt the fear that grips all spies at such moments. Would the finger of suspicion point at him?
When things go wrong, they all start thinking of the main players, don't they? Well, who was there? And the more forceful you were in the conversation at that time, the more likely you are to be remembered. And, you know, many's the time people used to say, well, obviously you're not under, because you weren't there, were you? When in fact I was.
How would you describe him as an agent?
In right-wing circles, the best agent I've ever dealt with.